Good evening, everyone, to another King Reflections podcast episode. I am Daniel Oliver, your host. I'm a graphic designer and a personal trainer by trade and studying to do my life coach course. And today we're going to talk about competition and the mindset of competition. And I wrote down earlier, probably a long time ago, actually, probably about 4 weeks ago, I wrote down this topic. But the whole concept of there's a win-lose concept mindset, and you got to pick sides, and more along the lines of drama in people's lives as well. Like, you can apply competition to everything really, but the idea that I'm really getting frustrated with, and don't mind my voice, I'm just getting over a cold, so it probably sounds a little bit different, a little bit more husky. A little bit more radio voice. Live to you now. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, back to my topic. Excuse the coughing and the clearing of the throat as well. So yeah, for example, when there's drama between friends, or even on Facebook, people put up their little dramas that are going on, and you got people picking sides, and then you start saying, why are you defending them for? Why you're on their side? Why are you on their side? And it's this mindset of, when you get stuck in this mindset, you're in this mindset of superficiality, where all you're worried about is who's with you and who's not with you. Your reputation, you're blinded by being offended. And when there's this the whole concept of, I've got to win, I've got to prove my worth, I've got to explain my side of the story, I've got to defend my title, sort of concept. You get stuck in this spiral of defense mode, and in a sense as well, offense mode, because you're always offended by what people do and say about you, and you want them to take back their words, and you want to show your power and your dominance by saying, stuff like, you say that one more time, I'm going to punch your face in. And you just get stuck in this negative spiral. You get stuck in this negative energy or vibe or frequency that's very hard to get out of. Whereas I always try and say, instead of picking a side of person to person, how about picking the side of peace? There's the side of peace, or the side of chaos, or the side of hatred in a sense, and dysfunction. I would rather pick the side of peace, rather than picking a side of conflict and chaos and hatred. I'd rather walk away from someone trying to offend me, or someone that's trying to ridicule me, or trying to bring my reputation down, and just be like, I don't need to defend myself. I don't need to explain myself. I know who I am, and I'm at peace with that. I know what my motives are, and I'm at peace with that. No one else has to know my motives, or know the right correction of my motives, if that makes sense, or they might not have the right definition of my motives, and that's okay. Like, I am at peace with what I know. And if they want to still pick sides and pick fights and want to try and to bring me down, they can try. I'm going to let them try if they really want to, but it's not going to stop me from living peacefully and being on the side of peace. And I'm not going to try and create conflict with them or create more drama, because there's no point. And I say something like, how about picking the side of no fighting? How about picking the side of understanding, rather than just lashing out of misunderstanding and continually rotating that circle of hatred around and around, and it's just back and forth like a tennis court. How about picking the side of moving forward, or building each other up rather than tearing each other down? And it's so disheartening when people in life, young people that, there's a lot of drama between the lives, and it's, over this concept of territorial conflict or ownership of possessing, objects or, girlfriends or boyfriends, or, this whole conflict of things is a build-up of your reputation, or, your reputation is, your worth is in this reputation that you hold. And it's always this competition of, I'm winning because I've got so much. And, people always, I remember a friend that I used to have was always like, I'm doing better than my parents. I earn more money with them combined. And they're going, this isn't a competition. Like, life is not a competition. Life is not meant to be about who's actually winning or doing better than everyone else. It's how are we going to help each other live a exceptionally good quality lifestyle, or have a good outcome of quality of life. It's not about, I've got an expensive car, I've got a big massive TV in my house, I've got a king size double bed. Like, do those things really make you happy, or is it, the people that you spend time with enjoying those things that make you happy? And a lot of times they always get so focused on buying expensive things or having and possessive expensive things. Even I know with a lot of people in the drug dealing areas around, every area you could say, and they've got the little man satchel or bum bags, they call it. And I know some people that have like a Gucci version of those, and I'm there going, that's like $6,000 that you could have put into invested in yourself for a better future for yourself, but you've put it in a bag or in a pair of TN shoes, and you're there like, the amount of potential you have and that money that you're using to put towards that for a better future. Like right now, yes, you're probably getting the money from drugs or whatever, but haven't you seen that movie, I don't know, that TV show Breaking Bad? Is it Breaking Bad? I don't even know that show. The one where the high school teacher makes drugs for a living to help support someone or whatever. Like, I don't know the full story of it, but I'm sure he had good intentions with those, selling the drugs. Why spend money on things that are eventually going to be thrown out, that eventually no longer have use for you? Put it in things that will help you be educated, or or tools that will get you further and progress better and faster in life, in a sense, from where you are at. You're at the ground zero at the moment. Build yourself up to level 1 with that money, rather than trying to stay stuck in that world of being surrounded by drugs and drama, and step up into a world that will get you much more, a much better life without drama and without the drugs. And I know it's hard because some people have like addictions to it. Completely understand that. And there is help out there to get you overcome those addictions. But it's a much better path to be free from an addiction and free from drama, and be on the side of peace and, progress, rather than staying stagnant and still stuck in the negative drama and stuck in your negative habits that are keeping you from being the best version of yourself. And then some people will say like, but I'm not getting what I want. And I'm there like, well, if you drop the attitude and work on how can we both have a win-win situation, and it's not so solely focused on just around you, or, if I'm saying, I'm not getting what I want, it's not solely just focused around me. And if we try and meet eye to eye and have a win-win situation where we're both getting what we want, and we both live in a more peaceful and more harmonious way without having further drama issues, it'll be much better outcome than having continuous win-lose mindset, or even a lose-lose mindset where, you can have that attitude of, well, if they're not getting that, if I'm not getting what I want, well, they're not getting what they want. It's going to be a continuous jealousy fight and just a lot of conflict that doesn't need to have. You don't need that in your life. You don't need that negative confrontation all the time, that negative conflict, that tearing down. Like, it's draining, excessively draining. And you just want to, no wonder a lot of people are wanting to give up on their life, because they feel like no one is there for them. And it's because they're surrounding themselves by people that aren't there for them, that they hope that would be there for them, but aren't. And vice versa as well. They're not really being there for them as well. And as much as they say like, well, I'm doing so much for them, it's just like, are you really doing so much for them? Or are you doing that just to say that you're doing so much for them, to prove that you're a good person, when really you can just walk away from it all and just start living for yourself and a better lifestyle, surround yourself with better friends, and just be able to grow, be able to focus on your growth, be able to focus on your progress, be able to focus on your education, and be able to get and build yourself a much better future without those people that are not doing good by you, that you've chosen to walk away from. And there's probably a lot of people thinking that, he's attacking me by saying all this, when I'm not. I really do care about where people are at, and if they're living in a uncomfortable situation, or a situation where there's a lot of drama, or there's a lot of conflict, and there's a lot of competition. I really do care that they just wake up, that you do realize that there's so much more to life than just worrying about, what possessions you have to promote yourself to be better than what you are, or better than the other person that's, next to you. And these people that they always say to me, well, I earn more money than you. And I'm there going, good on you. Like, what does that prove to me? It doesn't prove anything to me. And I just wish that they would get out of that mentality, because the amount of help that they can give, or the amount that they can do within the community, and the amount that they can do for their friends and family, rather than sitting on their money and laughing at those that don't have as much, they could help so many people. So I just, whenever they say something like, well, I earn more money than you, look, I've got a house, I have a car, I've even got a family now. And it's just like, I'm sorry, life is not a competition, and it's not a checklist. I mean, why do I have to have a house to prove to you that I'm a human being, or that I'm worth living? Do I need a family and kids and a partner, or a wife, or if you're a female, a husband? Do we need all that to prove that our worth, that we're living? Like, what is your point? What are you trying to prove? And it's obviously they're insecure of themselves. Like, they're obviously trying to prove to themselves their own worth, and that they are something, that they are special, that they have worked for it. And you can be proud of your accomplishments for sure, but if you're rubbing in people's faces, and then you've got to look in the mirror and be like, am I really building anyone up with this attitude? Or what am I insecure about? Why do I feel I have to go around and gallivant my successes to everyone? What am I trying to prove to them? So it's not me having a go at you in a sense. It's me wanting to shake you up and be like, you have the potential to be great. You have the potential to be amazing. But if you're stuck in this competition of a win-lose situation, where you are winning and you see that you're winning, and that you're better than the person next to you, and you're judging the person next to you, and justifying your worth, or your sense of worth, in a sense, there's something not quite right with your thinking. Because I want you to live a life without judgment, in a sense that I don't want anyone to be judging you. But on the flip side as well, I want you to be able to not judge anyone as well, because none of us are perfect. I want you to live a life without condemnation, without people condemning you for being who you are, just as I don't want you to condemn others as well. I want you to live free from aggressive conflicts, from people trying to attack you for their accomplishments, or, trying to attack you or tear you down because of your accomplishments. Like, just the same though, I don't want you to go out there and create aggressive conflicts, tearing people down. I don't want there to be backbiting on both ends, attacking one another. Like, I want to be on the side of peace. If we're really talking competition, I want to see peace be the winning side. I want to see harmony be the winning side. I want to see unification within, all cultures to be on the winning side. You know, I'd rather see people happy in the sense of being able to go about their day without worrying about thievery, without worrying about being judged, without sexist comments being slid across the table. I want that kind of happiness, that contentment, that you don't feel out of place. I want that to be the winning side. I've never been a big fan of competition. Like, even when playing sports, people, calling each other's names, or, you're next to your opponent. Like, say, for example, in basketball, you're supposed to defend one person and, they're defending you, sort of thing, like you're men on. And sometimes the other player would say something really sly or something really nasty, and obviously to get in your head. They'll say something to get in your head to fire you up. So because, everyone knows that when you're angry or when you're fired up or frustrated, you lose focus, and your accuracy of your movements it starts decreasing. Your performance starts decreasing. So they try and get in your head, and it's just like, I'm there looking at me going, you really think that this game is a representation of all your worth? That you have to be so low as a human being to just start, messing with someone's head to make them lose performance? Like, and the quote, I can't remember who it's by, but like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. It makes me think, is that how you do life in general? Is that how you treat your partner? When you want to get your way, do you start saying things to mess with their head so that they lose it, so then you can then go back to them and shove it back in their face? Oh, look, you're mad now. Why are you mad for? And then they're like, well, you made me mad. And then you're like, well, no, I didn't. And it's like, is that how you play life? Or even at work, and you'll say one thing to a workmate that you dislike, and you want them to, be fired, or you want them to look bad in front of the manager. So you say things to mess with their head, and they get angry and annoyed at you. And then you go to the manager and see, look, this person's not that capable of doing this job. And it's just like, is that how you live your life? Making other people feel bad about themselves, or making them feel horrible and try and prick them in the heart? Because I look at people on the basketball court, and I'm there going, I feel very sad for you. I feel pity for you, that you have to, in order for you to try and gain control of your life or the game, well, life in general, really, is you go around and start bad-mouthing people, calling them names, making them feel like their worth is nothing. And all of it is actually a reflection of you. Actually, you yourself feel like your worth is nothing. So you have to project that onto someone else to make them feel bad, and then it shows that you have power over them or control over them, and it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself, when really it's just making yourself affirm how sad your life is. So it's one reason why I don't like a lot of competition, and people say, oh, it's just a friendly thing. It's like, you can say that. You can say that if you want, and if that gives you permission to run your mouth, if you feel like that gives you permission to run your mouth, and you want to run your mouth, and you want to speak, I guess, your the negative energy in you, that you want to speak it out, and that you sure, go ahead. Go right ahead. But that's actually just showing me your insecurities about yourself. Not judging, because we all have insecurities, and but there's much better ways to do it. There's much better ways to overcome it, than rather than putting other people down and making them feel, and spreading that negative energy like a domino effect or a ripple in water. You can build each other up and actually 5 times have more progress than the negative version. Choosing the side of building each other up, being positive, being forgiving, being loving, being kind, being non-judgmental, like, that's 5 times going to help people and help you than being negative and only helping yourself. Anyway, so that's my little take on competition. I hope you got something away from this. Please don't take this as a condemnation. It's more of just a wake-up call. And that I do believe that there is good in everyone. I do believe that everyone has the capability of being good, making great choices, and being able to walk in the better path of life rather than the negative one. Turning around and actually choosing to live a better life and a more peaceful, and helping to build each other up and help the community out. And I'm definitely encouraging you to look at yourself in the mirror, really question yourself. Am I being a person that builds each other up or builds people up? Or am I tearing people down? Am I being that negative person? Am I being judgmental? Because there's a lot of negative in this world that we don't need. Even if you look now at Israel and Palestine, if I'm saying that right. And seeing that going on right now, it's heartbreaking because, and even today, people are just complaining and they're competing against each other about pointless things. And I'm there going, your life is more than likely a guarantee for tomorrow, whereas people in this world that are suffering right now are not. It's not guaranteed. Their tomorrow is not guaranteed. So be kind, be gentle, be patient as best you can, and help to build each other up. Help our community build each other up. Anyway, have a wonderful day or night, whenever you're listening to this, and I hope to see you on the next one. King up.